things are already documented, no, in your shared document.
Yes,
I
yes,
think I see this one.
yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, no problem. I'll see there.
Okay, fine.
Uh, Okay, 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 no problems.
So if right now
Okay,
I am, for example, I'm creating uh, a cluster in Mumbai region, then it will allow me to select country, India, and it will
right.
ask me to fill my billing address because I have already created one. Okay, by default free
Okay,
cluster, it will provide a single cluster in by free.
okay, okay,
So I can
okay,
see the all the report over here, the usage, all the stuff we can see from here.
okay. First one is always free. Yeah, the first.
Yeah, yeah.
And what is the alternate of this thing? If I don't, if I am not able to make this one, so can I install Mongo in my
Local.
local system?
Yes, yes. You can set up in your local system, and you can
Okay, okay,
take the help of any Node.js developer. They can help you if you face any issue in your local system.
okay. So further process or the functionalities that should be remain same, no?
Remain same. You just need to connect
Okay.
through URL, which you
Ah,
are just
okay,
like
okay.
this
So
URL.
driver.
Yes. Instead of this,
Okay.
the
So
URL.
connecting driver will be the differs, but other the functionalities will be remain same.
Yes, absolutely same.
Okay, 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 okay. Thanks.
Okay. So we have
Sure.
already gone through how to set up a cluster in Mongo Cloud, and we have done that. So I believe all of you has been set up your own database in Mongo Cloud, right? Yes or no? If you said yes, then I will go further.
Yes.
How many of you set up? Hello, not set up yet, guys. Please speak up.
नहीं सर आधा हुआ है पूरा नहीं हुआ है कंप्लीट
Okay, then it is 2 days, Finisher. You should set it up
या
because I will now go further, go faster as compared to before.
राइट नो प्रॉब्लम सर विल डू इट टुडे
Yeah, not only you. I am talking to all of you guys.
यस
Okay, but those who have idea, then it is fine. So if they are working in the MongoDB, then it is fine. They can do anytime. But those who are learning, like front-end developers, and might be if from PHP side, if somebody is learning, then they should practice. Okay, so we have learned day before yesterday how to connect database. So we have connected that. Now we are going to we are going to connect database through our code using Mongo's ORM, right? So have you guys get a chance to read this documentation from mongos.js.com? Yes, please read by yourself. Otherwise, it is the training is that just worthless, just time pass. Okay, and remember after training, Indian is going to do a test at how much grasp you understand, and whether you are able to work in Node.js project or not. And this is one your skill you are going to add. We are going to add in ERP that you are able to work in Node.js developer, right? Okay, so to use Mongoose, we have to first install the Mongoose package. So to install Mongoose package, we can just write the command in our terminal. Let me terminate my process. Then npm install dash mongoose. So now mongoose is installing. Package.json, you can see mongoose is there now. Okay, so let's create inside config file. Let's create a db.js. We have already config folder is there. where config.env file is there. Let's create another file called db.js, which will help you to connect to database. So I'm importing Mongoose over here. Then I'm connecting to database. Then I need to export it as well. So it is there. Let me copy, then explain it. Right. So what I did over here, I just import Mongoose package. Then I just create an asynchronous function, or sorry, create an anonymous function, or you can say it is an anonymous function, right? Arrow function is an anonymous function. So I'm creating an anonymous function. So the name of the function would be same as MongoDB, ConnectDB. So whatever the variable name will be the name of the methods. Then I'm using mongoose.connect method to connect to the database. Here I am passing the URL to connect the database. You can see the URL, it is not here. I have to connect it. That's why it's showing error. So let me connect. Let me put this inside MongoDB environment, config.env file. Okay, so I have added it, right? I'm putting my password, whatever. This URL you can get it from MongoDB cloud. So whenever you're connecting to any tools, so this URL you can, to connect the database, you have to use this URL. So I'm putting it over here. Let me save it. Then I can importing that Mongo URI from env file through a process.env.mongo URI. This is variable name. This is process.env, which required to access all the environment variable, right? Then inside these connect methods, I am using some object parameters over here. So new URL parser, you have to make it true always. These are the global setting whenever connecting or uh, operating any data inside the database or collection. These are the parameters. Also at the time of database operation, also in query also we are going to pass some parameters. Okay, so create index by default. Whenever index will be created, find and update by default we are making it whenever we are updating data into the database. By default it is false, but whenever we are writing the query for updating data in database, then we will make it for true forcefully to override this global setting. Then this is what I don't know why it is used, but it will throw error if you are not using this. Use unified topology, true. So these things you have to pass it over here. Then I'm just I'm just printing some text over here to know whether the database is connected or not, right? So what is the issue over here? Okay, so let me export it from here. Business book here. To import in another file, we have to export first. It is not closed yet. Right, now error gone. Then what I have to do, another thing. So I have created this. Then I have created the db.js inside config folder. Then inside config folder, config.env file, I am putting the URL, Mongo URL, connection URL. Then I am importing in db.js. In server.js, I have to import this file, the db file, because I have to connect the db from the server.js file. So before our routing or anything going to start, or our API start running, so we have to first connect to the database, right? So let's import this file first inside server.js. So always whenever you're importing, the default uh, module should be at the top, then in between we should keep a gap over here. Then I'm putting this, I'm importing this my custom modules, right? Then I am putting this connector.db just inside, just below environment value variable. Let me write it. This is a method because uh, I have just defining an anonymous method and assign it to variable connect.db. So when I import, it will return a function. So I'm executing this function. Right. So let me start server. So npm run dev. Now my server is running. Okay. Okay. Now database is also connected. So these two consoles are printing over here. Right. Clear? So what I did over here, let me explain once again. So to connect database, first we have to put our connection string, database connection string in our config file. Then I'm passing this config connection string over here inside mongoose.connect method. Then I export it and import it inside server.js again, and I
Sir,
call this method. Simple. Yes.
sir, can you show us from where we get the URI from the browser, like from the Mongo Atlas?
Okay. So you can go over here. You can go to connect. You can click here. You can copy this,
Okay,
and you
thank you.
need to change this one. The password you need to change.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
So it's fine.
Yes,
Now database connectivity has been done. So everybody know how to connect to MongoDB cloud or Mongo database, right? So now I did some other codes over here. I'm bold it over here to make you understand. So why I am writing some code like process.on unhandle exception. For example, let me give you some example. I'm going to config file, config.env file, and I'm changing my password, for example. So I don't want the database to connect, for example, right? I save it, and for example, I'm connecting it again. So server is running, but database will not connect. So it will throw an error. But our database is running, try to understand. Then our application is going to be behave WAD. WAD behavior you can see in our application means front end is running, backend API is running, but nothing is displaying, and it is get hang and so many things because there is an error you can see. Did you see? Unhandle exception, right? Did you see? So what I want to do it over here, I want to forcefully want to close the server. So that is what I'm doing over here. I'm just copying and paste it. Just a minute. Yes. So I'm going to the server.js. I'm replacing this code with my new code. So I'll explain what I did over here. Right. So I'm just calling this app.listen function, but I will store it over here as a promise. Then I can, when I got an unexception, unhandled rejection of promise, then I'm going to forcefully stop the server.close, right? So look at it. Let me close this and start the server again.
Replace the port, CK.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is small.
Mm, mm.
First
First
parameter
parameter
also.
also.
This is another
App
one,
dot listen.
another port.
App dot listen.
Line
App
number
dot
28.
listen.
App dot
Line number
listen.
28.
App dot listen. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Let's see any error. No. Right now server is running and look at it. The server, it will throw an error waiting for file to before starting. So now your server is not running. Did you see? It will stop server. If you call from front end, it will not responding. So from the beginning, it will stop from the server side. The node server.js will stop working. Okay. So let's make it correct. Let me correct this. It is 1 2 3 and run this again. Server is running now, and you can say database is also connected. Okay. So now we have to create a schema. So what is schema? Schema is a database. Schema is a format in which you define the type of field, the different type of field you are going to use in that table or collection. In case of MongoDB, we said it collection, but instead of relational database, we you use the term table. Okay. So all field inside the table. Also in MySQL, we usually use some validation, provide some validation like type validation, uh, uh, true validation means required validation, type validation, and custom validation if required. Then inside custom validation, there are so many things like uh, uh, maximum length, minimum length, any custom validation. It should be it should not be less than 10 characters, should not be more than 15 characters. Like this, it should not contain special characters, should not contain alphanumeric number, only string should be there. Whatever the custom validation you can do. Other than that, there are some more field which is also used in front end as well. Whenever you are creating any validation from the front end, first you should check the required validation whether it should not be empty. The message for the required validation it should not be empty. Then type validation means it is whether it is a number type, whether it is a email type, whether it is a URL type, right? So whatever the type, according to the type, the validation should be there. If you are wrong formatted data, you fill something, so required validation will be okay. But type validation means it is type email, then the type email format should be proper. So this is type validation. Then another is custom validation, which is uh, according to our requirement. It should contain a capital letter, it should contain a special character, length should be more than 8 characters, less than 20 characters, like password validation, right? So these are the validation from front end. But there are some other things in database level, like we should use, like unique, whether it unique is true, what should be the default value, or there are some other parameters as well we have to define over here, uh, uh, along with the type, custom validation, record validation, and according to except these three, we have to put some other validation as well, like unique true. Unique true means it should not accept any uh, it should not accept unique common same element, same value, right?
Duplicate
Du-
duplicate entry.
Duplicate entry, we should not allow you to accept duplicate entry. And MongoDB also provide you validation error accordingly. So I will explain it in error handling section, right? So let's create the schema, then see one by one.
CK, one thing, the ID field is here is like the auto incremented like MySQL or
No, no, no.
PGSQL, or it has a different format.
It is different format. It is, I think, 32-bit string.
Okay, okay,
32-bit string, and whenever you are passing any more than 32-bit or less than 32-bit, also it will throw an error, different type of error.
okay.
And I will explain what type
Yeah,
of
sure,
error is yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I worked already like this type of system, the 32 bits, 32 characters system. I thought it is, already right now available. Okay, no problem.
Okay. So this is schema. So let me create this schema inside our model. Okay, where it is inside model. Let's create one folder over here. Just like config controller, all the stuff. I have to create one model file. Let me create one folder, model folder, model. Okay, or I can say make it models. So all the models related to all the database schema will be stored inside it. Let me create one file, and the file name is sorry, what is this? Bootcamp model. Bootcamp dot model dot js. So look at this, the naming convention. Whenever I'm creating any controller like bootcamp controller.js, model bootcamp model.js, right? And inside route also you can see bootcamp route.js. So route, model, and controller. So you can see how I am defining the naming convention. I'm giving the naming convention to file. So inside model, definitely we need to import the Mongoose model, Mongoose library. Then I'm just putting all these things over here. I will see one by one, right? Okay, there is no error. Now server is running and database is connecting. Okay, so look at it. Let me explain you. So whenever you're creating any field, you can directly write like this, string, slug equal to string. You can put like this, or if there is multiple validation and multiple things that you need to define for that particular field, you have to use as object, right? Inside name, it is, if it is only string, you want to define as a string, then you can write in the same way, slug equal to string, correct? So your name, the bootcamp name, we are going to put it over here, and it is unique true. So you cannot add duplicate entry over here in this name field. It is type string, then it is required true, and whatever the message you want to send for the validation, you can put it over here inside an array, true and the message. Okay, means required is a validation, and you can put it the message over here. And unique true or trim true means it will trim all the unnecessary spaces and store it over here. Maximum length, it is 50. You can use also mean length. Max length is a maximum length. You can put mean length for the minimum length, and whatever the message you want to pass, you can put it over here. Same slug is another field, which is I am passing only string. So if it is if you want to put multiple validation or multiple uh, uh, things with that field, then you have to put object over here instead of only one value. Then description is type string. Then also in required validation, I am putting over here maximum length I have mentioned. So whatever you want, you can put it over here. So how much restrict your database field is more secure. You can make your application more secure. Website, then this is of course string, but here look at it, it is not a string or something. You want to create a what you can say, matching over here using match property, means it is a custom validation. You can see string, a regular expression we are using over here to uh, to validate this field. Same we are using over here in email also. So you can find this email, this validation for email, this URL, from the Google, regular expression for URL validation. You can find it over there. Then you can see inside this array, you just first element is the matching string, second one is the validation. Okay. Then in case of email is also, you can put it like this. Then it is string, is address and required true. And if it is somebody is not filling this value, then you can throw this error message. Location, inside location, yes, location is a special type of we mention over here, type and enum. Enum contain multiple points. Okay, so it contains multiple geolocation point, geo point, lat long. So this means all your it is an array of string. It means this symbol means this is an array, but it contains string, array of string. Here you can see it is an array of number. Okay, and 2D sphere. What is a 2D sphere? It will I will explain later whenever I am explaining the geolocation API at that time. Then these are normal formatted address, street, city. These are string I am putting it. Whatever validation you want to put according to a requirement, you can put it. So whenever you get a project, all the validation is of course there. It is required field, all this, but all other validation, like for example it is most of the time all the in business rule document there is they mention the custom validation over there, but it is not there, so you can use it by your own. If you want if you think that it is required, then you can do it over there. Then it another it's carrier. uh, okay, carrier. Then it is type string, means it is an array of string. So what is this string means? This is single string, but this is an array of string. So those who are working with relational database might be it is something different for you, but you should this in this way we have to handle the MongoDB validation. So this is means it is more or less like JSON, like right. So it is the array of string, just like here it is an array of number, but it is an array of string. Then it is what is it is true. It is fine. I am not sending any message over here. Only true. Record message I am not sending over here. Setting over here. Then it's enum. Enum means it is just showing you in the database in relational database like a drop down. This value will be in the drop down. So nobody can from the front end you are not able to push any data except this data, right? So that is enum type. Then average rating, of course, it is minimum 1 character, maximum, as I mentioned. This is minimum and maximum. This is not mean length and maximum length. So try to understand what I'm saying. Mean length is the length of the character, and this mean and max is the number, value. Whatever the value you are putting over there, the value is less than, it should not be less than 1 or should not be greater than 10. So it is not length. Try to understand. Okay. So mean and mean length, max and max length, you understand it. Then photo, of course, a type string, and by default, it's a default value I am setting over here. Look at it. So in some field in your database, in your collection, it is required to set some default value, right? So I can put the default value like this with parameter with the key default. Same here, default false, default false. These are boolean, type boolean, string, number, boolean. These are data type, and default value is always true and false. Not only default value, any value for the boolean is always true or false, right? Then this is boolean. This is of type boolean, again false. This is created at. This is type date. So whenever you are creating type date, then the default value you can pass the current server time. So what is the date dot now? So it will take current date. current date and time, means the UTC time, like the format UTC time. I think it will take in the same way, right? And I am passing exporting it using mongoose.model. So I am creating a mongoose.schema. It is a just object of data schema, right? Of my collection schema, and I am passing through mongoose.model methods, and whose name, whatever the name I am putting over here, I can accept it. I can use it in this name, bootcamp, not bootcamp schema. So I'm creating a model and exporting it from this file, exporting it from this file, and I'm using it in another file. So where it is going to be used? It is going to be used in DB file, right? So let me copy it somewhere else over here. Config DB. Sorry. Okay. So this is schema file inside control file, because I am going to operate database, connecting database and operate data, and pulling, pushing, and deleting and updating data from my controller. So till now I am not using any controller to operate to the database. I am just putting all this data over here. You can see it's just static data inside bootcamp controller. You can see this is static data. So now I am going to create I'm going to connect to database, and I'm dealing with database, right? So let me import this file first inside controller. Let me go to another file so I can take it from there. This one. So I'm doing a CRUD operation over here. It's very simple. Okay. So now Mongoose schema has been ready. Let me put it magnified and close it. I'm not going to do it from here. So let me wait over here for a minute and want to ask some, if you have any doubt, you can ask me over here. So it is not, so I tried to put whatever the type we can use, like number, array of number, string, array of string, the validation, the min max validation, then validation message, then enum, date type. So default value setting, what's boolean type. So whatever most of the time, most of the thing I have covered over here, but you can see more about the Mongo schema from mongoose.js, right? So right now we don't have much time. So we'll create this file, create this, connect to MongoDB, and CRUD operation, the simple CRUD operation with database, live database. We can do it maybe Monday. So, but I'm really disappointed because you guys are not doing practice. You didn't get time to practice. Then how could you means go ahead? Because this training is for what? For your improvement, not for me or not for Indiani. If you will not improve by yourself, improve yourself, then it is loss. You lose your credibility. Nothing else. It is a chance to improve yourself and show yourself that you have multi-talented, multi-technology knowledge you have. Then after some days you are going to start training on yes, lyrics I said doing it sir. Okay.
सर
Yeah.
एक डाउट था इसमें कैंपस मोंगो कैंपस जब हम डाउनलोड करते हैं तो क्रिएट कलेक्शन करना होता है कि ये यहीं से क्रिएट हो जाएगा